Hi, you've been selected to operate on the Bear Creek and South Jackson Railroad. The crew caller has come by and called you for a train. Now what do you do? When you're called for a train, you'll receive a train instruction sheet like this one. This one's for train 21. That's a regular train. There's a timetable entry for it, a schedule for it, and the employee timetable. It's the passenger local west. It's a second-class passenger train. Where do we go to find the train? Well, right here, B1. That tells us where. When you walk into the train room, you'll have a choice of 4 staging yards. Over here on the left is Siskiyou staging, and underneath the peninsula is main staging. B side is on the left. B side is the departure yard for main staging. And over here on the right is the A side. That's the arrival yard for main staging. And then over here on the Deschutes branch, up against the wall underneath Oak Hill, is Deschutes staging. Our train is located in B1. That is main staging side B, track 1. If it was in Siskiyou staging, it would say S1 or 2 or something like that. And if it was in Deschutes staging, it would say D for Deschutes. We'll need to get a train lineup. That has information about when trains depart. Over here we have the train ID, train number. A regular number is like 201 or 110 or something like that. If it says extra X in front of it, that's an extra train. So this is regular train 201, extra 5327 West. That's the Light Helper West, Oak Hill Turn, the Browning Transfer, also called the Brat, the Bear Creek Hauler East, the Deschutes Hauler East, Bear Creek Express East, Junction City Turn, Rot, and the Passenger Local West. That's train 21. This column is crew time. This is departure time. Call time, departure time. So if we come back down to here, okay, there we go. So crew call time is 9 a.m. You may be called earlier than, hopefully you won't be called later than that. The train is supposed to depart on 9:30. In timetable train order operation, you must never depart a station earlier than the timetable says. Speaking of timetables, you're going to need to get a timetable. You have to have one of these to run trains around here. There are fast clocks scattered around the train room, and there's one in the crew lounge. This fast clock is showing that it's just about time for our crew call, time for us to go find our train, get a throttle, hook onto it, make sure the train moves, check that the cars are coupled and that they're the right cars. We're looking for train B1 here, or track B1. So we come out here, and this is B-side main staging. For the purposes of this video, there's only one train here. Normally, it would be packed. So if we find the car card box, they're labeled B0, B1, B2, up to B9. Why do they start at B0? Let's just say there's some electronic, computerish kind of reasons why I start at 0 on this yard. So here's our car card deck. It's in slot B1, which matches up to what our train instruction sheet said. So if we look at this, this is the train ID card. Identity is train 21 PLW, passenger local west. It's a local passenger, second class, direction west. Its motive power is SP 6100 and F7A, and the DCC address is 61. Remember this is important. This is where you find what the heck is the DCC address of your train. It's not always the same as the engine number. Sometimes they're really weird. On the Bear Creek, if you're a road crew, you'll likely be using a UT4R Digitrax throttle, the Simplex radio throttle. So we use the thumb wheels here to set 61. To select the train, just plug the throttle in. See how the green LED lit up? To select the train, just plug the throttle in. You get the green LED showing here. With the throttle selected, set it to forward. This is forward, this is reverse, this is brake. So with set to forward, turn the throttle up a little bit, and we have motion. And we have control of our train. So now we need to wait for our departure time. Now here's our train on the timetable, and we leave Pocatello at 9:30 a.m. 9:30, I think we can go. We're ready to go? Well, maybe not quite yet. Let's do a check of the stuff we have to have before we go. Obviously, we need a throttle to control the train. We need an employee timetable. We're running timetable number 12. We need a clearance card. Clearance card lists all the train orders that apply to your train. If you don't have a clearance card, you have no business going out on the main line. And a train instruction sheet. We've seen the train instruction sheet, and it tells you where to go and what to do in each town as you get there. And then you need to have a car card deck, a train ID card, and a locomotive card, and some car cards. We've got all of those. So what else do we need? We need to make sure that the yard ladder is set up for us. So we grab the knob here and we twist. Select track 1. Easy peasy. Now when you're leaving main staging, you've got a clear shot from Pocatello to Toh Junction. The staging leads on the helix are unidirectional. The inside track goes down, the outside track goes up. You'll be on the outside track. So we don't need to worry about traffic that's ahead of us or coming at us until we're past Toh Junction. Before we leave staging, we ought to sign the register for Pocatello. Now, a register for Pocatello is down at the end of the peninsula. Here's the Salem, and here's the Pocatello. And we look and we see, yes, 21 has, we signed out. Okay, let's get going. There are labels on the track showing which track they are. Yep, we're on track B1. Train's going to make a U-turn at the end of this aisle, and it'll head up this helix. Now when we get to the top of the helix, we need to stop. There's a signal here and it's red, but even if the signal's green, we need to stop. It says gap, stop here. If you go across this gap and the junction is set against you, that's Toh Junction, TOH, stands for top of helix, then you'll short circuit the staging network. So at this point, we need to call the Toh Junction towerman. So if we come over here, you call the Toh Junction tower by pressing this button. That's the phone ringing over there. You pick up the phone and wait for them to say hi. Then you announce, train 21 going for South Jackson. Please align the junction. Okay, we're going to wait for the signal to go green for us. Now that we've called the Toh Junction tower operator, we should let the South Jackson yard master know we're coming in. So I just sort of say, South Jackson Yard, and he'll say something like, yeah, go ahead. There's a 21 coming in. And he'll say, okay, come on in, or he may ask you to wait a little while. So we're going to go through the The staging nexus here. And until we're coming out, we're just coming out, we're prairie dogging there. And then we're going to stop and we're going to hike around the other side of the backdrop. Has lined us up. And the LED's gone green. Let's get rolling. And there's that tunnel portal. We want to get right up to it and maybe just a little bit through it. So we're sort of prairie dogging there. Now we're going to get to hike down the main aisle and go all the way around. It's possible to do the limbo and pop out over there, but South Jackson sometimes is really crowded, and I don't recommend doing the limbo and just popping up because there may not be any place to pop up over there. So let's go for a walk. If you haven't figured it out, this is the track plan flaw in this layout. Well, at least the big one. Now, for some reason, I was planning to use a staging manager to bring trains out of staging, and once they were prairie dogging, then the crews would pick them up. But the crews rebelled against that. They wanted to drive their train all the way into staging. It's Browning on the left, and South Jackson Yard. We're there, almost. So we need to come all the way down. And here's our train. When you're walking around, be careful you don't bump the throttle or the train can nudge forward. So we're going to run the train into the passenger siding at the depot. That's what our train instruction card says we should do. And then we'll make a 5-minute station stop, I think.